Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Flix and Giggles. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back for another film review. Now, I'm just getting to this film because you saw this film in the theater. It came out last year. It was an
Yeah, I
Apple
saw
TV production. We're talking about F1, the movie. And Keo, you said you saw it in the theater. What time was like, that was like, which month was that, you think?
whatever the release, I think it's in July it was released. I
Mhm.
can't remember. It was in the summer though. I know that.
So I'm late to the
Uh,
game, and Keo was like, yo, you got to watch this movie. And now
I've
that
been
it's on
telling you
Apple
all year
TV.
you gotta watch this movie. You have to watch
Mhm.
this because, like, for me, I saw some behind the scenes stuff about how they made it and the fact that they're saying that they had 2 minutes at every race for them to drive around the track.
Wow.
They had to build special cars to make the cars look like F1 cars because they're like Brad Pitt and what's his name, Jameson. You can't drive a real F1 car. You're gonna kill
Yeah.
yourself and everybody here.
My
So
goodness.
they had F2 cars and they toned down the engine, but they designed them to look like F1 cars. And then they had 2 minutes every race. So they filmed this during the actual season. I think it's
Mhm.
2023 season they filmed it.
Okay.
So they were walking around with cameras. So you can even see the cameras in some of the highlights from the season, from the F1 season. They were there walking around, getting behind the scenes stuff, getting people in the
Mhm.
background, and then they had Brad Pitt and Jameson drive around the track for 2 minutes right before the real race started. That's
Wow.
all the time they set up for.
Wow.
That's it. They go around the track one time, get out the car, get out of the way. The real race is happening. That's what happened. So I'm watching this. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Because,
Mhm.
like, when you watch the movie, it feels like this is a real movie.
Yeah.
Because all the real drivers are there, and when you
Hamilton
see
is
them,
there, Pretoria,
everybody,
Pretoria's there. You know, all the all the McLaren people, all the
all the
Mercedes Benz,
big
the
races are
Ferrari
all there.
people. You know.
Yeah, they're in the background, whatever, and they gave them access. They gave extreme amount of access because, like, when you watch the movie, it feels like they somehow filmed this together.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel when you know what I'm saying. Like when you watch it, you don't feel like, oh no, this is a fake movie. They were really there. Like it feels like, oh, they were on the track.
Mhm.
They did the CGI, whatever, the seamlessly put the cars together. They recast the cars, so like it'll be like a race, and say like Lewis Hamilton was like in first place or whatever,
Yeah.
and then they would take and put Brad Pitt's face on this car,
Right.
and then they change the car,
It was a
and
great
they're driving
job.
around the track watching that.
It was a
It
great
feels
job.
seamless.
You know.
It is the best CGIs I've seen ever.
You got to really think about like okay, so Apple now they invested in F1, and now they are the exclusive sort of streaming service for F1. Doesn't, like, their app doesn't even exist, or is not going to exist. Everything is on Apple TV, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they just closed this out like last year or something like that. So this was like sort of recon for Apple TV to do this, to show and prove to the F1
Mhm.
folks. And when I watch sports on Apple TV, like sometimes like baseball and also MLS, they got the serious camera angles. They have like, I mean,
Yeah, they had access.
Amazon does it too, but Apple just has like the butteriness of it. It's just like, it's so
Mhm.
crazy. And so now I watch this movie that you have been preaching to me for so long about. We're not even gonna do an IMDb because this joint is like it's from
Yeah,
last
it's
year.
this thing's certified. Everybody liked this
It's
movie.
certified, you know what I'm saying? So I watched it, and I told you
Mhm.
offline, I was just like, yo, I like the spirit of this movie. I like,
Mhm.
the um the soul of this movie. And the other thing is this here, right?
Mhm.
Brad Pitt does not come out of the house for some like garbage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's at that point. It don't matter. He's old.
He
And
is
he
at, he is
can
on
do garbage.
a totally different plane than like a
Mhm.
lot of these, like all of these Hollywood people. When you call up Brad Pitt, like, yo, I have a script, it's got to be very compelling, the whole nine. It's got to be super interesting. It's some of these actors and actresses that you just know, it's just like, hey, you know what? They're not doing any garbage. You know what I'm saying? and
Yeah.
Brad Pitt is one of those actors. I also think, just to like put it out there, I also think Anne Hathaway, who I am just a super fan of, I think
Yeah.
she also does things that are gonna work for her creativity, for her art, and that's
Mhm.
what Brad Pitt did with this movie. It's also interesting that you see like the Lewis was in a movie. I think I'm saying his name correctly, Patori. Um, and those are like the top drivers in the world, right? But Joe, they didn't have any like speaking roles, so they didn't get a SAG card. What's up with that?
I don't. Well, I mean, he produced it, so I'm sure he's in the thing officially because he produced
I
it.
still
But
would want a SAG card though, dude. Come on.
I don't know if they had scenes they cut it out or whatever. But like they're there, they're 100%
Because they
there,
were just
especially
showing
like
the
the last
back of him
race.
and also Patori, and I was just like, what's going on with this here? But you
All,
know what?
all of the drivers were there. Every driver that's in F1 for 2023 season, but then in this movie,
You know
which was
what else?
cool.
What was fascinating to me? And
Mhm.
now that F1 is on Apple TV, I've been watching it. The first sort of race they put out was the Australian Grand Prix, but
Mhm.
at these different like locations, these racing teams, they set up like a building, right?
Yeah.
And just like that's just like wow. So they have a lounge, they have like open bars, like
I just right. See, here's the thing: the money that people spend on football and FIFA and stuff like that, that's
mhm.
cute compared to Monaco F1.
Yeah,
That's money over there.
yeah, for
It
real.
is adorable that you got some box seats to watch the Super Bowl. That's
Mhm.
adorable.
Yeah,
This is somebody's grand super billionaire grandfather owns a crazy super million
mhm.
yacht is in Monaco next to the F1 race, and he's gonna go drive his Ferrari over to the race after that. Like that's a different level.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that you understand about the like because even like during the movie they talk about how much money
It's a
what's the name
lot
he
of money,
spent.
dude.
Yeah, he
Three
spent like
hundred and fifty million.
yeah, he spent some
And
money.
even like Michael Jordan, like the money he's spending for NASCAR, that's like a really
Yeah,
expensive,
that's
sort of
crazy.
thing.
The
Yeah.
NASCAR money's crazy too. And
It
but
was.
like
Mhm.
you recognize that there's tiers to this stuff. There's a big difference between you having an F1 team and you have a NASCAR team, or you have a basketball team or whatever. It's different levels,
Yeah.
completely different levels.
It's
And the type of people that go to this stuff is the behind the scenes stuff is wild, man.
yeah. It's almost like going out to like a polo match in like wine country, Virginia.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
see
it's a
like
good example. It was a good
you see
example.
like it's just like you see all the like sort of money out there and everything, but it's also really performative. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh,
Yeah.
you
They're
got
not
the
really
hat on and everything else. It's just like, really, like, where do you
they're
live?
not watching the race.
Yeah,
They don't care. They're in the background. They're watching TV or so, talking about business
right.
deals. They're not watching
You
the
know,
race. They're just
uh,
there,
right,
which is crazy.
exactly. But the movie was like I said, it was really cool, really, and even though this was a 2 hour and 35 minute movie, really about 2 hours and 20 minutes, because it was like 15, 20
Yeah.
minutes of credits, at the end. Um, I watched it today. It was like kind of a nice day, so I watched it out on my deck drinking. So I was just had my iPad and I was like, oh, it's kind of nice out here. I'm gonna check it out, right? And it was like I said, man. I like the spirit of this movie. I like the soul of this movie. I like Brad Pitt kind of killed it. There was
Yeah.
like, what, the only thing, there was nothing for me when I watched this movie. I was like, there was the movie itself, the art itself, right?
Mm.
There was nothing bad about this. The only thing that sort of like weirded me out was like the soundtrack. It was just like,
I like Hans Zimmer, man.
mhm.
I like the sound. It didn't bother me,
Dude, like
but again, I watched it in the
Zimmer is like
theater.
the man when it comes to like, soundtracks. And
No, but
I'm
again,
like, yo, why did he do this though?
that's what they wanted. Like, as the director wanted.
Yeah,
You
but
know what
like,
I'm saying?
as a
You
music
could.
director for a movie, you're like, yo, you watch like, you watch the movie and then you're like, okay, I have a like, I have a selection of tracks that go here, there, and the other. And then you present it to like, the executive producers or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're right. Maybe someone said, no, we want this track here, we want this track there. And I just thought that the soundtrack was it wasn't fitting for like the seriousness of this movie. I was just like, the soundtrack, and then with the Afrobeat, it's just like, really, come on,
Well, they made it modern for sure,
Yeah.
and I think they tried to kind of connect the audience with the actors,
Mm-hmm.
like what the character would be listening to, that kind of thing, which I guess it makes sense. But like I don't know, I didn't mind it, but like
Mm-hmm.
it sounds different from an iPad to like see in the film theater, in the
Yeah.
theater with the
Oh, dude,
subs
I
and
had the iPad connected to a Bluetooth speaker, so it was
okay,
dope.
okay,
But
okay,
here,
yeah,
let me
yeah,
let me tell you this here. I'm glad you said that, right? Even
yeah. Mhm.
though I did not like really like the soundtrack, right? But for what F1 is, right? F1 is global. F1, like, dude, F1 is picking up so many new people, right? And
Mhm.
it's kind of cool. It's kind of social, it definitely has social proof. And even though I didn't like the soundtrack, I was like, okay, I get the soundtrack because F1 is
Mhm.
just like so popular. It was almost like when they were out in Vegas, when they did the Vegas Grand Prix, right? And you
Mhm.
have those really huge clubs in like the Vegas hotels. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying? And when they went out to like party at like one of the clubs there in Vegas and whatnot, and then I was like, okay, I get it
Was
here,
it yes still in there? I can't remember. It was somebody. It was a big DJ that was there.
I don't know that female's name. It was a female DJ. No, no, no. The female DJ was at like the
That's a different place. The
Abu
one of the
Dhabi, the Dubai like Grand Prix. No, that
yeah,
guy
yeah.
there, he kind of looked like Cascade, but I don't know.
I can't remember who it was. Like, cause
He
I've it
kind
took
of
me.
looked like
It's been a minute since
Cascade,
I've
but
seen
I
him.
was like, I don't know if that was Cascade
Okay.
or not. But but yeah, those clubs in like in the Las Vegas hotels, they're pretty big. But the movie
Mhm.
itself, man, I was like, this is listen, we said this before.
Mhm.
You you create a partnership with Apple because you want to be attached to quality.
The film looks amazing.
It looks
It
amazing,
looks
dude.
phenomenal.
Amazing
It's
for real.
clean. And for all the CGI work and stuff like that to make it look regular,
Mm-hmm.
because one of the guys I was watching this video, one of the dudes that was running the CGI, and he worked on the CGI for the film.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't tell the difference between the races and what the movie was supposed to be. He couldn't
Really?
tell. That's how
Wow.
good it looked. He was
That's
like, "Yo,"
crazy. Mm-hmm.
he didn't know what it was for. He didn't, like, because they do the scenes. They tell him, "Okay, the scene's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
here. This car is gonna be." He couldn't tell the difference between the CGI stuff and the actual race stuff, which I
Yeah.
thought was crazy.
You
But
know.
like
Mm-hmm.
it's so immersive because they designed brand new cameras and they put the cameras
Yeah, I
all over
heard
the
that.
car.
Right. Uh-huh.
They designed brand new cameras for the race and put
And
them
now,
because
see, listen to what you just said. Listen to what you just said. You said this is Apple, right?
Mhm.
Apple's like, yo, let's create an F1. Like, just look at the business move that Apple
Mhm.
just made. They not only put out an F1 movie and created these new cameras and everything else, now this is where you get F1. The only place you can get F1 right now is on Apple TV. That's it. The F1 app is like done, you know?
No,
So
it's a
it's
smart business
crazy.
move to connect the two of them together. But I'm just saying, like, they design cameras, they put them in all the cars
Mm-hmm.
so that you get to see special angle from the car, from
Yeah.
the driver,
Mm-hmm.
and like you get to hear what the driver is talking about. Like, there's a bunch of stuff they did that give you like the impression that you're in the car.
Yeah.
And again, Brad Pitt, it was Jameson. They were driving fast. That's the other
Yo.
thing that's crazy. They
Yeah.
were whipping it around the track. They were doing like 50 miles an hour. They
You
were
know,
cooking with this thing.
You know what else was really cool about this movie? When they were like doing the race stuff, right? Just like at the tracks and everything else. It really sort of felt like, F1. I watch a lot of F1. I also watch a lot of F1E, which is like the
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 electronic
the E
electronic
version.
cars.
Yeah, yeah, the EV
Yeah,
version,
yeah.
right? And they do the marketing, how they're marketing this, how they're like putting these clips and everything else together, like
Mhm.
the people behind F1, and now that you have Apple behind this stuff, it's
There's
just
top
like
tier people behind this stuff.
it's
It's top tier.
dude, it's like, I mean,
Marketing and everything is top tier.
and again, this isn't like Apple saying, "Hey, you know what? We'll like have a contract with MLS to show some
Mhm,
like games, or matches, or like even with National League Baseball, right?" Apple
mhm.
basically said, we're gonna purchase this like service for a few years, and we're gonna like completely shut down the F1 app and put this stuff exclusively on Apple. It looks
Mhm.
totally different. The analysis, like the just the videos and everything else. I'm like, yo, this is like F1 said, you know what? We're gonna partner with Apple because Apple is going to take us to another level, right? And
Which
that's
they
what
did. Like,
yeah,
it's so much better now.
yeah,
It
yeah.
it it's
Mhm,
better for layman people that don't really know the sport, and it gets you like, I've seen stuff on Instagram and
mhm.
TikTok, whatever, of the F1 races. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Yo, I need to watch the race." Like, it's inviting, like, if for people who don't know anything about what's going on,
right,
it's really inviting for the normies to get involved in this thing. And the movie was a genius way to get your toe dipped in there with Brad Pitt. It's like, like, "Oh, I'll check this out. I trust
mhm,
Brad Pitt." And then you see it and you're like, "Oh, this is cool."
yeah.
'Cause, like, I don't think people appreciate how fast they're going down the track. It is
210, 220.
crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, it is crazy how fast they're going. And
Right.
the thing is they every year there's new rules about what you could do to the car, and some people like it, some people hate it, but like I like that it's even and everything comes down to your ingenuity because that's the same thing in the movie. They
Mhm,
had like this big downforce thing at the front of the car, and it helped them gain an extra 2 seconds around the track. And
right,
like that's what this whole thing is about. Everybody has a top tier driver. Everybody has a top tier engine. Everybody has the same type of car, and really is the ingenuity and your way you can take what you have and
right.
make it better is the difference maker. And that's
Yeah,
what makes this all interesting. And you know what's funny? The people with the money consistently do this better than everybody else.
yeah,
Ferrari, Mercedes, they
right.
consistently do it better.
Well, they
The
hire
people
really good
who don't.
engineers too, you know what I'm saying? For
Yeah,
real.
yeah, they got a team of engineers.
Yeah, so they like old girl came, she worked in aerospace, the aerospace
Mhm.
space. And
That's what I'm
they were
saying.
just
You
like,
have
yo,
to
we need
have
this chick for
your
air,
rocket.
for when. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have people working on rockets to work on these cars. That's how
Right.
cool this thing is.
You
I
know,
listen, I never cared about it until I saw the movie. Like I've seen it, I've
mm,
watched some races, whatever, and you know what? I was a big fan of the TV show Top Gear, and they used to talk about the F1 races all the time.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I'm like,
Top
ah,
Gear.
that's cool,
Top
yada
Gear
yada
kind
yada.
of
But
fell
like,
off though too, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, they're retired and whatever, whatever.
The
But like,
older
you know,
guys retired, they have the new bunch in.
Clarkson,
Yeah.
he used to talk about F1 all the time on the show.
Is
I
that the
watched that
tall
show
guy? Is
religiously.
is Clarkson
Yeah,
the
yeah, the
tallest
tall
one?
guy.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. He's
Mhm,
talking about religiously, and I was like, "That's cool, whatever, whatever." But like, I never really, really watched it. But after the movie came out, I was like, "I gotta get checking the F1, man. I need a new thing. This is a
mhm.
new hobby of mine." So like, yeah, I definitely it for Apple's job of trying to integrate new people into it, it worked because
Yeah.
it's dope. F1 is dope.
And
I rock with it.
yeah, and the thing about it is like here in America with NASCAR, I never got into NASCAR because I'm just like, they're just driving around a track, you know what I'm saying? Right? And I'm
Mhm,
just like, yo, you know what? I mean, why can't they go through like, turns and everything else? And F1 was really kind of interesting. And so I
mhm.
sort of like, pivot towards like F1. Not that I was really into NASCAR.
Yeah.
Um, but the movie itself, like I said, man, it's like visually it's stunning. Um,
Mhm.
I mean, you brought up CGI and yo, Keo. I wasn't even going to say anything about CGI because it didn't really occur to me, or at least the
So
CGI was
flawless.
so good that I was like, I can't even say, and the CGI was right.
Yeah, no, the CGI in this movie is
It
flawless.
was
It's
so
some of the
good.
best.
Yeah.
It's some of the best I've ever seen because it's natural. Like,
Mhm.
you do CGI of a spaceship and it looks like a spaceship. They didn't actually film that.
Right.
This feels like they filmed it in the car and
Yeah.
they were there.
Mhm.
And so that's what makes it so cool is like you feel like you're in the car with them. And it's the same director that did the Top Gun movie with Tom Cruise.
Okay. The
And
first one
Top
or the what?
Top Gun, the new
Mhm.
one, the last one, Top Gun
Okay,
Maverick.
so the Ill Boy
And
joint. All right.
that was phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
felt like you were in the jet too. And then
For
I'm like,
real.
yo, this guy's cooking right now. I like is this name Joe something? Yeah, Joe. I forgot his name. But like, yeah, he's a really good director.
Yeah.
Uh, I like all of his stuff so far. I've seen he did 2 movies with Tom Cruise, and he did this. I I like him. He's a great director. He's pretty good.
Now, you know who else is like kind of ill? Javier.
Yeah,
Javier, dude, like Javier is like the freaking man, dude.
yeah,
What
he's
is
great. I like
up? He's like so
a
good,
man
isn't
and
he?
dude, man. He's a
He
dude.
is so good at everything he has done when it comes to like Hollywood. I'm just like,
Mhm.
Javier, like, dude, you are so good at what you do. He is so good, right?
Mhm.
And I'm listening. Okay. So and I was just like, yeah, I was like, wow, he's so good. This whole joint is really dope, It's just like, and dude, there is so much freaking money in F1. So much money.
There's a lot of money in that for
It's a lot of money in F1, dude, for real.
Mhm.
It's just
'Cause
like if you're
they got approval to put all these companies on their jersey, whatever, their shirt.
oh dude, I was that was the other thing I was about to talk about, like the
'Cause they're real companies.
sponsorships.
They didn't make them
Yeah.
fake them. Those are real
No,
companies.
I mean, like, just the plugs and everything that would like, the product plugs and, like
Mhm.
Expensify. I mean, like, dude, I used to use Expensify, no lie. I used to use Expensify like 7, 8 years
Mhm.
ago. I stopped
Yeah.
using it. Right.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, okay, the product placement is like crazy. They got like, Apple probably really didn't have to spend a lot of money because of the product placement.
Yeah, I
Right.
think they saved a ton of money because
Right.
they have the product excuse me. They have the product placement in all the companies, all the drivers they have it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so it's on the cars, it's on the track, it's all over
Yeah.
the place.
Like
It
this is
looks
going to be
great.
in theaters. If you want your logo or your name here, you have to pay
Mhm.
us a fee.
Yeah, you gotta
You
take it
know,
off, man. That's the
right?
thing. Everything in a movie you have to pay for.
Yeah,
There's a Pepsi can somewhere, you pay for that.
yeah,
If it's bourbon, you pay for the bourbon thing to get permission to be there.
yeah.
So all of these companies for all the drivers, they have the real stuff on the cars and
Mm,
on their jackets and stuff like that. And they're all on the walls and they're all in the behind the scenes stuff
mm.
and they're in the movie. They probably shaved at least $100 million off of the price
Oh, for sure.
for all of the advertising they
Yeah,
have in there because it's all over. Because these guys are wearing these things, the
mhm.
suits, the whole movie,
Yeah.
basically.
If
That's
you
a
saw
lot of time frame for you seeing this stuff.
if you saw the acronym APX, would you pronounce it as Apex?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and I was thinking, I was like, oh, APX as an acronym, that's kind of cool, for Apex. I'm like, oh, that's kind of ill right there, for real. I'm like, yo, you know what? Is that a blue ocean or something like that? I'm like,
I
so
don't know.
that was pretty cool. I was just like, okay. But yeah, man, the whole joint, again, I'm just getting around to watching this movie and I was like, wow, this movie is pretty cool. I mean, it's not it's not like crazy, like just breathtaking and everything else for me, but
Mhm,
this was a really good film. Brad Pitt, again, he's not going to just say, hey, I'm doing a movie for money. That's not Brad Pitt, and I like that about him. And it was just a really well made, well written, excellent graphics, visuals, the whole nine. Again, like I said, I wasn't even going to talk about CGI because the CGI was just so smooth. It was
mhm.
almost like, if you I always said that at Jazz, like DJ, his name is, well, he doesn't use DJ, but at Jazz is a really good mixer, right?
Yeah.
He mixes. I mean, you just don't know, right? Like
Mm.
what's going on because he's just such a great mixer. And I'm just like, and that's the thing with the CGI here in the F1 the movie is just like the CGI was done so well. You don't even speak about it. I wasn't even gonna come on here and speak about the CGI because I was just
If
like,
you would say it, you would
yeah,
know, man. That's how good
I
it
wouldn't
was.
know,
They
dude.
just
I mean,
looked at
it was just it's Apple, dude. It's just like, wow, this is totally crazy. And now they have the F1 app and everything that all the races. F1. Okay, put it this way: if you want to watch F1 content, you gotta go to Apple because that's the only place you can get it. And I'm watching
Yeah.
everything, and with F1 they also do like the trials and everything, and it's just so cool. Even though I don't necessarily like the the analysts because a lot of them are from like Australia or New Zealand, and
Yeah,
sometimes
but those are the guys that call the race.
right, but
They try to make it as authentic as
yeah,
possible.
but still, sometimes that accent just is just like kind of like jarring. It's just I'm like, oh, I can't
Yeah.
listen to this right now. It's too like high pitch for me, or
Mhm.
whatever it is, right? But the movie was totally sick. And did you watch it in one of those like high end theaters or what?
Yeah, I watched it. They have like
Mm.
deluxe theaters where they serve alcohol and food.
Uh,
I was in one of those. I had my feet up.
Sound system
It
was
was great.
good.
Yeah, it was
Mm.
fire. It's like a VIP
So
type
you were
theater.
like in what, leather seats and whatnot?
Yeah, we were in the big boy seats where you put your feet up all the way up.
Yo,
I said I've seen this movie like at least 4 or 5 times already, man.
wow, okay. That is
Yeah,
crazy, man.
it's like a comfort thing though. Like, "Oh, let's throw it on real quick."
Yeah. And even though it was like 2 hours and 35 minutes, it really didn't feel like 2 hours and 35 minutes because the pacing of this movie was really good. There was like really no downtime, you know?
Yeah. Once it starts in the middle of a race.
Yeah.
Like he's
It
the I forgot what race he's doing.
Well, what, he went there and he was like, I'm gonna do a test run first, right? So even like the
Mhm.
first 10 was like really the first 5 because once the movie started, it just started. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it starts in a race.
it starts, dude. And I was just like, you know what? This is the pacing of this movie is so excellent because there's no
Mhm.
like there's no goofy sort of things in the middle where you're just like, why do we need listen, like we
Yeah,
watch stuff and I'm like, why do we need that? Why is that
yeah,
here? It's not
yeah.
like that with this movie. It's a really good movie. I was like, I really appreciate it. I finally got around to watching it after you were like, you gotta watch it, you gotta watch it. I'm like, okay, let's watch it. And I'm like, yo, this is a really good film. So we are
Mhm.
talking about F1 the movie. It is available on Apple TV. Keo, you said you saw it 5 times. What are you gonna rate this joint?
Ah, it's a 10 for me, man. His
Mhm.
movie's a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
straight
know
up.
what? I'm also gonna give it a 10 because how rare is it for you to watch a movie and for there to be no downtime, no goofiness, right? This
Mhm.
movie started and like when it started, it got to it. It didn't start
Mhm.
and like, 10 minutes later, it got to it. When it started, it got to it. So it got to it from like the beginning to the end. Brad Pitt is like brilliant. Brad Pitt is
Mhm.
not going to come out the house for no goofy stuff. He's going to
Yeah.
do something that makes sense. He's not like Brad Pitt is already like wealthy, so it's not about the money for him. Right now, like when I saw this movie, I was like, yo, you know what? For Brad Pitt, this was all about the art for him. And I was just
Yeah.
like, I was just looking at it and I was just like, totally amazed. And I'm just like, and your boy Javier, for him again, you don't see him in like goofy stuff. It's all about, once you get to that level, it's all about your art, your creativity. And
Mhm.
these two A-list, way above everything else in Hollywood actors, they just killed it and they brought in people I've never seen before. And I was just like, yo, Apple is just this was a great film. This was a 10 for me. Keo gave it a 10. It is available on Apple TV. This is a great film to watch. Go check it out. Well, there you have it. Thanks for checking out another Flix and Giggles. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.